Welcome to this week's edition of Transformation Thursday, where our goal is to walk with you on this journey of transformation. Last week, we discussed misplaced motives. And in doing so, we highlighted the fact that most of us are motivated by one of five drivers. We talked about achievement, those who are driven by success and driven by moving up the ladder. These are those who are status seekers and they are interested in what they have because that represents who they are. We also talked about those who are driven by power. They are driven by their desire to be in control. They are the ones that wants to be the want to call the shots. And then we speak of those who are driven by affiliations. These are those who are driven by the connection. They want to be connected to someone. They don't necessarily have to be the boss or they don't necessarily have to be the one calling the shots, but they simply want to be connected to them. And then there's those who are driven by security, by consistency and continuity and predictability. And these are those who are risk adverse. And then finally, we spoke of those who are motivated and driven by adventure. These are those who desire change and frequent change. They like uncertainty. They like the shifts, and they frequently shift with the winds. And so we discuss how many people are driven by one of these particular things and motivated by one of these particular things. And we also highlighted that these motives are misplaced and often serve to distract us from our real purpose. And each of these motives, however, highlight a deeper issue, one that is rooted in how we ultimately view ourselves. A writer once said that we see ourselves not based on what we think or what others think, but on what we think others think. The real issue is that each of us are on a search for validation and significance. And so tonight, I want to talk to you about the search for significance. From our earliest recollection, each of us have been standing in front of a mirror. And each day we're forced to look into that mirror and come to grips with what we see. And so the challenge is that the mirror often gives us a distorted view of who we really are. I remember some years ago, I went into this museum where they had different types of mirrors. And as I walked in one of them, I can see my reflection as I often see it. But then I walked to others and I saw that in some I was distorted, in some I was really, really big, and in some I was real slender. And so some of them gave a distorted look of who I was. Oftentimes, the distortion often starts with our parents. The first distorted look often starts with our parents, is their look of this disappointment. It's the look of mom or dad's dissatisfaction when we don't do what they require or fail to live up to their expectation. It's that authority figure or role model that was critical of you, that maybe said that you would never amount to anything. It's your peers in grade school that mock your clothes or your hair. It's a coach that said that you will never be good enough. Maybe it's that significant other who criticized you for not being like someone else. It's the person who left you. It's society's image of who you should be, what you should have, where you should live, and where you should go to school. Or maybe it's the media that says you should look like the model on the front of Vogue, or the false images on social media that have been doctored up but have convinced you that you are less than because maybe you don't measure up to those. It's these mirrors that lead to insecurity, inferiority, withdrawal and denial, and trying to overcompensate, addictive behaviors, and often this unwilling, unfulfilled longing for significance and acceptance. But there is hope. There is hope on our search for significance. Paul says in Ephesians chapter 1, he says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places. And just as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we would be holy and blameless before him, in love, he predestined us to adoption as sons through Jesus Christ to himself, according to the kind intention of his will, to the praise of the glory of grace, which he freely bestowed on us in the beloved." In other words, Paul says that you are wanted, that you are chosen, that you are accepted, that you are significant, you matter, and that you are called. You have a purpose. He further says that the mirror has convinced you that you don't measure up, that your past is too messy, that you don't have anything to offer, that you're not good enough, that you are a loser now and you always will be a loser, that it's not worth it, that no one will ever love you. But I want to tell you on tonight that it's all a lie. You are worth it. You are loved. Your dreams can come true. Regardless of how messy your past is, it can be cleaned up. You do have something to offer. You are significant. And so, on this transformation, I simply want you to know that you are significant and you are worth it. Be blessed.